1 month before the college entrance exam, I saw my own test score floating above my head. I did one practice test, and my score dropped by 10 points. But if I skipped class for a day, it went up by 10. I goofed off for a whole month and my score hit 710. But when the results came out, I only got 40 points. And that 710, it became my brother's score. My parents threw me into a factory in a rage. That night, some thugs cornered me in an alley. Beat me to death. As I was dying, I heard my brother Jibuduan's voice. Always thought he was so much better than me, so clever. Turns out he got fooled by that fake score. That's when I realized my floating score was controlled by my brother all along. When I opened my eyes again, I was back, 1 month before the exam. My score was sitting at exactly 600. Bro, let's study together tonight. When my brother invited me, I grabbed the practice test in my hand and ripped it to shreds. Study? Hell no. I'm not touching a book. My score went up by 10. My brother faked disappointment. But the second I turned around, he smirked. But he had no idea my show was about to begin. After refusing his study session, I headed back to my room, straight to bed. But my brother wasn't done with me. He tried to drag me to a tutor. I shoved his hand off. Cramming now? That's useless! Go by yourself, I'm playing games. Bro, you're doing great in school, but don't get cocky. Jibuduan said the exact same thing as in my past life. He was testing me, checking if I believed, the fake score floating over my head. Meeting his eyes, I smirked. I'll still beat you without studying. Go study yourself, little bro. He looked defeated, but couldn't hide his smile. Watching him walk away so confident, I grinned. Little brother, this time you're the one who's getting played. Back in my room, my score had climbed to 620, but the second I opened my backpack, the number started dropping. By the time I finished reviewing the last topic, it was down to 580. I opened the hidden camera I'd planted on him. He looked stressed. Why is Jibo Cheng's score dropping? I knew it. That jerk says he's not studying. But he's grinding behind my back. Whatever. Once his score hits 500, it'll explode right above his head. If he keeps studying, he's dead. My heart sank. I had to find a way to trick the score system. I tried everything. For an hour, I tested every method I could think of. But no matter what I did, the score kept falling. When it hit 500, it turned red and started flashing. I panicked and immediately stopped studying. I found a bar and rented a private room for the night. Once my score climbed back to 630, I finally relaxed. My brother also noticed my score was back at 630. On the monitor, he looked satisfied. I knew it. Jibo Cheng would fall for it. That idiot got fooled by the fake score. Ha! This moron actually thinks he can score 630. That score is mine. Watching him gloat, I scoffed and shut off the feed. He had no clue. I'd already outsmarted the system. I tossed the chalk on the floor, lay back on the bar's couch, and admired the wall covered in formulas. This was what I'd really been doing all night. And the score? It didn't even notice. A server knocked on the door, reminding me to pay up. I immediately called my brother. Transfer me some money. A bar? Bro, how could you go to a place like that? I just wanted to chill before the exam. Don't tell mom and dad. Send me 10,000 won. He kept lecturing. The exam's coming up. You should be home studying. Are you even my brother? If the bar calls mom and dad, they'll drag me home to study. I'm begging you. I just want to relax before the exam. He sighed. Fine, bro. But promise me you'll study. I mumbled something and hung up. Jibuduan transferred me 15,000. That was all his savings. I used his money to live comfortably at that bar for a whole month. I only went home the day before the exam. By the time I got there, my score was at 710. My brother handed me my exam ticket with a smile. Bro, you finally made it back. Good thing you didn't miss the exam. I barely managed a bitter smile before my dad's hand came flying. If it weren't for your grandma insisting, I wouldn't even let you take it. You know what kind of trash you are? Going to a bar right before the exam. He yanked my ear hard. I tried to push him off, but he kicked my knee. I dropped to the ground. My ear felt like it was tearing off, but he didn't stop. I yelled, I have to take the exam today. Are you trying to kill me? He sneered. You partied at a bar for a month, forget the exam. My brother panicked. Dad, what about grandma's orders? Bro has to take the exam. Hearing grandma's name, Dad reluctantly let me go. Holding my ear, my brother and I were driven to the exam site. After 2 days of testing, my brother ran out excitedly to tell our parents. I think I did really well. Can we throw a party on score release day? My parents looked at him with nothing but adoration. Dad said, since Jibuduan's so confident, I'll invite your grandma too, to witness your success. I thought to myself, grandma never liked me, but this time I'd give her a surprise. Right then, the floating score above my head disappeared. Watching my brother's cocky grin, I smirked. Little brother, get ready for a surprise. The day the exam ended, Mom and Dad took my brother on a graduation trip and forgot all about me. I wasn't upset, actually, I was relieved. With them gone, I could do what I needed. I looked at a number I had memorized by heart. I called and said quickly, Uncle, I solved the problem. You gave me last time. The man on the other end sounded thrilled. Go Chang, you just helped the research institute big time. My uncle picked me up and took me to his workplace. We met up. We spent a whole month solving math problems. Until score release day, he had someone drive me to the party. The second I walked into the banquet hall, I saw my parents and brother back from their trip. They were surrounded by people flattering President G. You're so blessed! 2 brilliant sons, what a gift. Working with you is our greatest honor. The reason so many people showed up wasn't to celebrate our test scores. It was because Grandma had said, whoever got into the better university would inherit all her assets. Grandma was the top shareholder of G Corporation. Today was really about choosing the next CEO. Of course, the partners came to kiss up. I took a deep breath and walked straight to Grandma. She smiled and took my hand. Confident? I nodded. I won't let you down, Grandma. In this whole family, only Grandma cared about me. But in my past life after I was set up by my brother, she was so disappointed. 3 days after I was sent to the factory, she died of a heart attack. This time, I wouldn't let her down again. Bro, why are you lying to Grandma? Noticing me, my brother rushed over. You spent a month at a bar before the exam. How could you possibly do well? Grandma trusts you so much. And you're still lying? Jibuduan pulled out photos of me at the bar. He showed them to everyone. Dad looked at me with disgust. If I were you, I'd be too ashamed to show up. Predicting 700? You probably didn't even hit 200. After today, the entire G Corporation belongs to your brother. From now on, you'll depend on him. Some partners immediately chimed in. I saw the eldest young master at the bar. He looked pretty relaxed. But on this exam, he can't compete with the second young master. Everyone burst into laughter. My dad casually tossed the keys to a luxury car on the table. If you beat Jibuduan and get into a better school, this car is yours. I sneered. Just one car? I thought you'd go bigger. If you're so confident in Jibuduan, you should bet everything, all your properties. My parents hesitated, but the crowd egged them on. Do you know what 700 points means? The second young master is getting into Tsinghua or Peking for sure. Forget houses and cars, even if you bet everything. You won't lose a dime. I acted surprised. Then Dad, bet everything, let me see. Dad was still hesitant, but Mom and Jibuduan kept pushing him. Finally, he gave in. He listed all his assets and announced publicly. Whichever son gets into the better school today, I'll give him everything. The second he finished, the score checking system went live. My brother stepped up. To see how accurate your prediction is, I'll go first. He looked totally calm. He typed in his info. Within seconds, his score appeared on the screen. Everyone leaned in to see 700 points exactly. Applause erupted. I frowned slightly. As expected, he scored what was floating above my head. Jibuduan shot me a smug look. He pushed the computer toward me. Your turn, bro. Under everyone's gaze, I entered my info. But the next moment, I froze. The screen showed 50 points. Just like that. My score and Jibuduan's added up to 750 again. Even if you guessed randomly, you wouldn't get 50. Jibuduan scoffed. Jibocheng, kneel down and apologize to me. As the new CEO of G Corporation, I'm sending you to a mental institution. Jibuduan kicked my knee. Dad grabbed my shoulder, forcing me down on one knee. I looked desperately at Grandma, but she sighed. Bochang, you've disappointed me so much. Grandma? The acceptance letters haven't come out yet. But everyone around me just laughed. My brother pretended to look troubled. Bro, you heard them. If you don't apologize, I'll look really bad. I gritted my teeth. Jibuduan, you won't get accepted by any top school. Oh, really? He smirked. He grabbed my face, forcing me to look at the entrance. Admissions officers from Tsinghua and Peking had arrived. He whispered in my ear. I want you to watch me. Get accepted into Tsinghua or Peking. Well, you can't even get into community college. Jibuduan stood up with a smile, walking toward the admissions officer. But when he reached them, his smile froze, and my show was just beginning. The admissions officer walked right past him and stopped in front of me. Hello, would you be interested in attending our university?